Alright, welcome to another Final Fantasy XIV seasonal event, and this one is called Delivered with Care, Valentiones Day, and it runs from Tuesday, February the 8th, 2022 to Monday, February 21st of 2022, and it can be found in Old Gridania. No love lost. Lisette de Valentione has her mitts full this Valentiones Day. And the requirements to be a part of this event is to be at level 15 at least. And you are looking for Lisette de Valentione at the Khetto Amphitheatre in Old Gridania. And here we have the event items. And we have Valentiones Mobile, dangling decorations crafted into various heart shapes, though none of them are anatomically accurate. And Postmoogle Barding, a festive suit of chocobo armor inspired by hard-working post-moogles everywhere. Certain items available during previous iterations of the event can be obtained from the House Valentione maid, and also please note that seasonal quests cannot be completed after the event has concluded. And as per usual, during gameplay I will only be reading out dialogue and text that is necessary. So let's jump into it. No love lost. Lisette de Valentione has her mitts full this Valentiones Day. This quest is available for a limited time only. 'Tis the season of ardour and affection, and romance is thick upon the air. I, Lisette of House Valentione, entreat you, dearest one, to breathe deep and take love's richness, its cloying rosy radiance, into your bosom. Hold now a moment, traveller, this face. Yes, I know it well. You are love's humblest servant, ardor and adoration's foremost champion. Ah, what a delight it is to see you once again, and in such blessed times as these. Alas, every rose has its thorns, and even this fairest of seasons is not without its trials. Indeed, trouble is afoot, and it threatens the hearts of all in this realm. Do you recall a Moogle by the name of Kupka, self-styled, magnificent maestro of the myriad matters of the heart? Heart-shaped palm? Ringing the bells? Ah, excellent, for these woes we speak of are specifically his. Valentiones Day is a joyous occasion, but not always so for those who acquit themselves as post-Moogles of the realm. Kupka has his poor paws full, delivering heartwarming missives far and wide, hither and thither. Though he would never admit it, I fear he's at his wit's end. But you, benevolent adventurer that you are, can provide precisely what our hirsute herald requires oh so desperately. Pray, lend Kupka your talents and retrieve him from the edge whereupon his wits now teeter so precariously. What will you say? A working adventure is a happy adventure. If I must, marvelous! You are a hero through and through. Kupka will be relieved. I shall fetch him at once. Why could it be? So it is! Solana, return again this year to aid us in another Valentiones Day celebration, have you? Once an emissary of love, always an emissary of love. Kapoo! Now then, I hear from Astrid that you would help me in my hour of need, for which I am most grateful. However, it is not the work itself that vexes me, but rather a colleague of mine, a clueless courier newly inducted into our vocation. Every Valentiones Day we emissaries are overtaxed, and this season has proven no exception. I had hoped to nip this issue in the bud by petitioning the deputy postmoogle for a helping paw or two. He obliged, but I sent someone altogether worthless, an undisciplined tyro. To make matters worse, the daft thing is painfully ignorant in the ways of the heart. You should hear the way she speaks to the clientele. What an ugly gift! Love must be blind, and such nonsense. Left to her own devices, I fear she will ruin Valentione's day. Kapow! Give the girl the axe, you cry. The impulse is very much with me, I assure you, but I can't rightly turn away the very assistance for which I begged. I would come across as the most wretched ingrate to ever have wings, yet I haven't the time to train her, let alone the patience. Fret not, our harried herald. You are right to have sought our help, for I have come upon the cleverest of solutions to your predicament. We shall enlist the help of our doughty adventurer and house Valentione's very own Astrid to accompany said callous courier. You cannot be surprised at my suggestion. 'Tis a most natural fit. Solana, so skilled in so many subjects, will teach your assistant the delicate art of the post, while Astrid shall instruct the Moogle in the ways of ardor and adoration. There, a splendid plan, if I do say so myself. Are you both sure you're up for the task? Isn't it too great of a bother? What a seasonable relief indeed! Chapeau! I shall bring her to you at once, for there is not a moment to lose. May I introduce you? My fledgling Postmoogle charge, Pukty Piko, and her loyal chocobo, oh dear. This is rather awkward. I confess your friend's name has slipped my mind, Capo. Salutations, one and all. As for my chocobo, his name can't have slipped your mind because he hasn't one. I refer to him simply as my partner, dear, or when I'm feeling particularly silly, Bird. Many an acquaintance of mine has attempted to provide him a name or two, but none of them ever stick. Or should I say, I always forget them. In any case, you may call him whatever you like, it makes no difference, least of all to him. Quack quack. Well, friendly chocobo. Yes, well, be that as it may. I have tasked Pukty Piko with 3 deliveries, all of which I would ask you to join her on. These 2 are to accompany me? Very well. Who am I to turn away, whoever you are? Our first stop is the Carpenter's Guild. Bird and I shall await you there. How fortunate Pukty Piko is to be joined by emissaries such as you and Astrid. For what better pair than you and she to teach a poor benign post-Moogle the ways of order and affection, the pathways of the heart and soul. Let's see how Pukty Piko quits herself. Surely she can't be so terrible as Kupka described. Oh, the recipient is out on an errand or some such. A pity. As for the parcel, well, since no one is available to take it, I say we just leave it any old place. There are other assignments to be getting on with after all. I say, now hold there for a moment. I am no Postmoogle, granted, but merely abandoning a package like this before a door seems a touch disrespectful, does it not? What we have here is a gift, an item crafted with love and care. It deserves to be treated as such. Who is this from exactly? A young woman, if memory serves, darted to the man meant to receive this. Oh yes, and there was something about her training at the Culinarian's Guild, I think. My memory's hazy. What will you say? We ought to make the delivery in person? We wouldn't want anyone to steal the parcel. We ought to make the delivery in person. You make an interesting point. The man is out on an errand, yes? And since he's with the Carpenter's Guild, it stands to reason he's out collecting lumber. And from the Botanist's Guild, like as not, we shall start our search there. For a Valentione's day gift must be delivered straight into the recipient's hands. Speak with Pukty Piko near the Botanist's Guild. I believe we have found the man to whom the package was intended. A delivery for you, sir. You weren't at the guild when we came calling, so we took the liberty of tracking you down. Alright, give it here then. Oh, what's all this? Valentione's Day chocolate. Now this is a surprise. My daughter's an apprentice in the Culinarian's Guild, you see. I'd heard she'd been selected to make the chocolate for the festivities this year, but I certainly didn't expect to receive any myself. And how wonderful that you did. It's not every day one's daughter is accorded the honor of crafting such a beloved confectionery. She must be quite the culinarian. That she is. My pride and joy, that girl. What a pleasant surprise this package was. Certainly made my day. I can't thank you enough for bringing it all the way out to me like you have. I'll never forget this kindness. Goodness! Seems like a bit of an overreaction to being handed some food, doesn't it? What will you say? He appreciated that we delivered it with care. That's what savvy postmoogles call customer satisfaction. Kupp! Agreed. There's a lesson to be learned here, Pukty. Joy is not meant to be kept to oneself. It is a feeling that yearns to be shared, and we played a part in bringing him happiness. So it is little wonder that he wished to share his felicity with us. So joy is meant to be shared. Well, when you put it that way, I suppose that's not so foreign a concept. When something makes me smile or laugh, I do tend to talk to my companions ear off about it, and I'm often made the happier for it. Whee! But enough of that. Time is wasting. Best be off on our next delivery. The recipient awaits at the Whistling Miller by the looks of it. I'm slightly concerned for our fair recipient. She appears to be in a state. Loitering Lady. I wonder, how are you doing? Wherever you are, I wish I could hear of your travels, your adventures. It's been ages since I last had word from you. Pardon me, but I have a delivery for you, ma'am. For me? Oh, it's from one of my dearest companions. And look what they've sent. Pink seashells. Are they not extraordinary? Look at their vibrancy. Ah, and a card. Happy Valentione's Day. How delightful. Shells? Empty ones? You can't even eat those. At least the other fellow received chocolate. Pukty! That is abominably rude. You must forgive our friend here. She's not accustomed to deliveries such as these. Here's There's nothing to forgive, I assure you. I could hardly be upset after receiving a gift like this, and from a loved one I've not seen in quite some time. My friend, you see, is an adventurer in their own right. They enjoy being cryptic though, and never outright tell me where they have been. Rather they make me guess by dropping hints in the form of curiosities such as these. What a blessing this parcel is. I was only just wondering how they were faring and where their journeys had brought them. Thank you, Miss Postmoogle. You have brightened my day. Love is a mystery indeed, and a funny one at that. It is my pleasure to tell you, Pukty, that love is a many-splendored thing and we each have our own unique way of expressing it. The friendship between that girl and her adventurer companion is a perfect example. That gift, which appeared mere frippery to you, was a treasure in her eyes. What would you say? It's important for adventurers to check in with their loved ones. Perhaps her friend is in La Nausea. It is oft said that no news is good news, but I very much doubt that to be the case for those in your line of work. So you mean to say this was her friend's way of telling that young woman that all is well? Their way of assuaging any worries she might be harboring about their safety? How fascinating. To be sure, were I to be separated from my bird here by expansive seas or vast mountain ranges, I'd like to hear from him from time to time. Perhaps not every day, that would be irksome, but to know that he's in good health would be not altogether disagreeable, I suppose. Anywho, no sense in losing ourselves in thought. Not when a parcel sits burning a hole in my satchel. Kupp! Our next delivery takes us to Upcolor Falls. Let's away. This will be our third and final delivery of the day. Goodness, I don't know how these moguls do it. Loitering Lad. Really, they ought to be here by now. Don't tell me my gift has fallen afoul of bandits on its journey here. Greetings, sir. I have for you here a parcel from one of Ulda's preeminent art dealers. Kapow! At last, her earrings, they've arrived. Goodness gracious, how stunning they are. This craftsmanship, this meticulous attention to detail. I couldn't have hoped for a better present for my wife. She'll be over the moon to receive them. Her birthday's coming up, you see, and I want to ensure her special day is just that. I've even given Kupp's home a vigorous pat. I hear tell that one touch is enough to bring a couple happiness for all their years to come. Let us hope so. You did well to bring these all the way out here without a scratch on them, you know. I'd begun to worry that by the time I received them, the poor things would be nothing more than scuffed, dented rocks. You've got a bright future ahead of you in the postal service, friend. Thank you. Now this is odd. There's a flutter in my chest, a tickle in my stomach, Kapow. Have I taken ill? Or do compliments and words of gratitude always elicit this sort of response? Trust me when I say you are not ill, Pukty. That flutter you feel, those ticklish sensations you described, that is fondness, a form of love indeed, and it was made manifest by that man's appreciation for what you provided. Oh, so this love nonsense, why, it isn't nonsense at all, is it? It's quite wonderful actually. I liken it to that feeling when my bird and I settle down for an afternoon nap in the Twelfthwood, when I tuck myself under his wing and we are warmed by the sunlight breaking through the trees. Perhaps you haven't mastered the concept entirely, but I do believe we are making strides in the right direction. You certainly seem more attuned to the ways of the heart than when we first made your acquaintance, at any rate. Now that all three parcels have reached the right hands, let us return to Khetto's Amphitheatre No doubt Kupp is anxious to know how Pukty fared. Report to Kupp. Let us inform Kupp of our efforts. I am sure he is on pins and needles. Ah, our emissaries of ardor and affection are returned to us. I trust all is well in the hearts of the realm. Does the language of love still elude our perplexed Postmoogle? Here they are, our agents of affection, our heralds of the heart, returned at last, and not before time, Kupp. Tell me, how went your deliveries? Splendid! Each and every one. The recipients were all thrilled to receive their parcels, and I'm pleased to say that Pukty Piko learned something along the way. Yes, I do believe I did. Love is, well, it's quite a bit more complicated than I first imagined it to be. There are hidden depths to it, ones I didn't see before. I may not be an expert on the subject yet, but I would like to think my ignorance is not quite as dire as it once was. You are making progress, certainly. I am glad of it. And just so long as you did not offend anyone, I could not ask for more. Anywho, I am indebted to you. Astrid, Solana, you have spared at least 3 citizens of the realm from potential cruelty, however unintended it may have been. No, I am being too harsh. Pukty, you have shown a true concerted effort to understand the labyrinthian complexities of the heart. And as a reward, I am inclined to set you another task. For in truth, your work is not yet finished. Much more is there to be done this Valentiones day. Kapow! When you the time, speak with me again, and I shall tell you all about it. Complete! Seasonal event quest complete! Love's labors. Kupp has a matter of the heart on his mind. This quest is available for a limited time only. There you are, and not a moment too soon. Your unwavering devotion to the ways of ardent affection, love and romance, courtship and intimacy is both commendable and deeply appreciated. So, to the task of which I spoke. It involves a woman by the name of Aloyse, who only just posted a parcel with no small amount of urgency. However, she then returned begging us to call off its delivery, a highly unusual request, and her eyes twin pools of sorrow. Kapow! She fled straight away, ere I could even get my bearings, let alone ask what troubles her so. Will you help me seek her out? You are too kind! Now as for this young woman, she is an Elysian of great beauty and thus should not be an easy one to overlook. Last I saw of her, she had just made a sharp left at the fork in the road, unless my eyes deceive me. To the left, you say? That way lies the Great Loon Grovery, if I'm not mistaken. I will accompany you there, Kupp. Solana, Piko, you too will look near Nofika's altar. Should you come upon her before we do, come find us at the Grovery. Season event, quest accepted, love's labor, find Aloyse. Farewell, adventurer, do not tarry, for the poor heartsick girl is in need of succor only you and yours can provide. This woman here, could this be Aloyse? I'm not much of a a steady, but I know an Elizine when I see one. Who? Me? Yes, I am Aloyse. Why do you ask? Kupka wants to see me, you say? But whatever for? He's beside himself with worry. Kupka! He told us you turned tail and darted off looking dreadfully stricken. Downright morose. You can understand his concern, surely. I see. I owe him an apology for worrying him as I have, and an explanation for my frantic flight as well. Kupka's still at Khetto's Amphitheatre, correct? I'll go to him at once. Actually, never mind. She's already gone. I suppose I shall go and fetch him then, shall I? Meet us at the Amphitheatre, Solana, and do hurry. You wouldn't want her dashing off again. We had better at least get another epiphany about love for our troubles. How fortunate you were to have come across her with such ease. In retrospect, I realized my description was rather subjective. Such a look of heartbreak as near I've seen on a woman. There must be something we can do for her. Let us speak to Aloyse, find out what upsets her so. First, let me start by saying how grateful I am that you would think to come and check on me. The truth of the matter is, I've received an offer of marriage. I meant to accept, which is why I came to you initially, Kupka, to see that my reply would be delivered safely. However, as I was writing to tell him yes, I found myself hesitating more than I ought to have been. I began to wonder if I was making a terrible decision, not only for me, but for him as well. The man who seeks my hand is of Ishgardian nobility and goes by the name Ezolmile. At the moment he is quite ill and is seeking treatment here in Gridania. Do not misunderstand me. I was overjoyed to hear of his devotion. A life spent with him would be a wonderful thing. But I'm no noble. I'm of the most common stock, no more special than a weed underfoot. I wasn't raised with the aristocratic manners a future wife of his requires. Who am I to marry into nobility? I must destroy my previous missive and pen a new letter, one telling him I can't go through with it. But that one I'll hand deliver. I won't have an emissary of love delivering such ill tidings. Now, I don't pretend to be an expert in the ways of the heart, but isn't love the desire to be with someone forever and on? The desire for a trusted partner in this world? Someone with whom you can share joys and your woes? If you care for him, be with him. Wouldn't it upset you to do anything but? It certainly seems to have. I may not have much experience with this, but I know that were I and my chocobo to be separated, I wouldn't like it. Not one bit. I don't believe giving up is the solution. Kapow! Verily, I myself am of Ishgardian nobility and can thus speak from a place of authority. Each of our houses has its own traditions. It is our titles that connect us, not our principles. Before making your decision, seek the counsel of your beloved and learn what his family values. I could not agree more. After all, it is doubts you harbor, not lack of affection. If you believe his heart to be yours entire, then trust that he will listen to your troubles, that you and he can solve them together. Why not send one more letter? Explain what it is that vexes you. Yes, I see your point. It's unfair of me to hide my feelings like this. He's owed my honesty. But how does one even write such a letter? I wouldn't know where to begin. Perhaps you should explain your apprehension about fulfilling your duties as wife to a man of a great house. Make it clear that should you decide to join his social milieu, you will require time to study, learn and train before you are comfortable. A word of warning though, to compromise the very woman you are in order to bend to the rigors of nobility may leave you jaded, haggard, and altogether infuriated. Thus, I suggest you first inquire as to whether his family is capable of accepting you as you are. Why not simply write down all your worries? I don't fancy myself a poet of passion or what have you, but there's something to be said for getting everything out in the open. All of these ideas have a great deal of merit, and each should be given due consideration. Solana, what say you? Which of these notions has struck a chord with you? What will you say? Ask for help adapting to his lifestyle. Make clear that you won't compromise who you are. Tell him exactly what concerns you. Thank you for your insight, everyone. I believe I know what I must do now. Then let us fetch your parchment, quill and ink. Fortunate that you have us, for we emissary are never far from instruments of the post. Why, I shall even provide you with Valentione Day-themed stationery. There, it's done. Now all that's left is for him to read it. My darling is likely in the gentry's ward. I know he enjoys sitting in solitude on a bench not far from the gates. He'll be there like as not. Then that's where we shall try first. We'll be back with his response as soon as we are able. Tally-ho, bird, love work awaits. Whee! I am a touch anxious to see how all this unfolds. Keep your tissues close at hand. We may yet be consoling a very distraught woman. Will this be a day of rapturous reconciliations or of doleful dissolutions? Either way, we are ardor and affection's most faithful agents and have a duty to see this through to its conclusion. Oh dear, I'm so fidgety. I just can't sit still for nerves. No, I can't take this any longer. I refuse to stand idle by while my future is decided without me. That does it. I'm going to the gentry's ward this instant. Aloyse, you can't... and she's gone. Our duty as emissaries of love and affection demand we see that love Lord lasts through this trying time. I shall meet you at the gates of the gentry's ward. Will the... Speak with Aloyse yet again. The man there must be Ezolmile, the well-to-do beau of whom Aloyse spoke. Oh goodness, my tummy's wound itself into one huge knot. Kupka! I must be more nervous than I thought. Solana, you are good to come, but leave us Postmoogles for our work. Yes, might I help you? I'm sorry to have run off again like that, but I just couldn't wait around twiddling my thumbs another moment more. We have for you a letter from one Mrs. Aloyse herself. Oh! A missive from my love. Thank you kindly, Postmoogles. Pukty Piko, perhaps it's not my place, but if I may... Aloyse thinks a great deal of you. We watched her as she wrote that letter you now hold, and we could see plain as day how much she cares for you. If there's love to be found in this world, it's there, in every word she has put to that page. The heart and its intricacies aren't my forte, I admit, but if you even have as much affection for her as she has for you, then what you two share is something wondrous. I only hope you can both weather whatever troubles come your way. The heart isn't my forte indeed. One who claims such a thing, you show remarkable perspicacity in the matter. You are quite changed from the Moogle I once knew. Color me impressed, Kuppo. You are good to concern yourself over my and Aloyse's affairs. Your kindness does you a good deal of credit. I shall pen my response this instant. Can I trust that you will deliver it straight to her once I've finished? We serve at your pleasure. Your trust is not misplaced in us, good sir. Did you hear that? He's going to reply. We should return to Khetto's Amphitheatre at once. I don't want to be here when he sent our Postmoogle friend all the way back there. Yes, it would be rather awkward were his letter to have no recipient. Let us explain the situation to Lisette and wait for Pukty and Kupka's delivery. Let us hope this all ends with tears of joy rather than sorrow. I hope they return soon. Maybe I'm being silly, but I'm rather nervous to see what my darling has to say. Our eminent emissary of adoration and affection is with us once more, and now that we are assembled, we only to wait for the custodians of Ezolmile's reply. I feel sick to my stomach. What if I've angered him? What if he calls off the whole engagement? We have returned, and with your beloved's painstakingly penned post in paw. Pukty Piko, I was drawn to your advice in particular. I wrote down all my worries, concerns, and questions in a clear and concise fashion, and he responded with some confusion it seems, although now at least he's aware of what troubles me, and for that he says he's grateful. He's very sweet here, you see. He tells me that together we will go down this list of mine and solve one problem at a time. Where we live and how will be up to us to decide, not his family. I have come to ensure my letter has reached you and see if you have yet read it. After all, you did the same for me. It would be unkind to not return the favor, no? Oh gods, how embarrassing. You caught me spying on you, didn't you? You're embarrassed? For what, pray? I found it endearing, my darling. Ah, these companions of yours, did they assist you in your writing to me? Then we are in your debt. Aloyse, my love, what say you to tea at the Caroline Canopy? There we can discuss our future, a conversation which is long overdue, I should think. Thank you, my friends. Where would I be without your help? And I promise, yours will be the first invitation we post once we've settled on a day. Goodness gracious me, do my eyes deceive me? Pukty Piko, your palm. Why, it's adopted the very shape of the season, and is lovely beyond compare. Kupp! And 'tis much of muchness with mine, or so I flatter myself to think. I can't rightly explain it, but seeing those two together brought a flutter to my chest, a spring to my wings, and the next thing I knew, my palm began to tingle in the most peculiar ways. It's just such a marvelous thing to know that we had a hand in ushering Ezolmile and Aloyse's story into its next chapter, and to think it was all performed strictly through the art of the post. Affectionate missives are more than just the silly folderol I assumed them to be. I see now that they show what's in our hearts like nothing else can, and we emissaries are their trusted custodians. That we are, Pukty. Only do remember that letters require more than just love. They are also in need of names and addresses, and speaking of names, perhaps you might bestow one upon a certain chocobo. Think of it as a show not only kindness, but of love too. A show of love, you say? Suppose you're right. I was never able to recall the names given by my Moogle acquaintances, but I bet I could arrive at something that actually sticks. I will give it some thought. Make sure I've done this bird's justice. Quay, quay! My once foolish fledgling has wings of her own at last. How proud I am to see you soar. You are a credit to the emissaries of ardor and affection with your heart-shaped palm. It is my most sincere honor to have you among our ranks, and I pray that you will continue this most revered work. I would love nothing more. Kapoo! What joy to be blessed with so many couriers, and in this season of sublimity no less. 'Tis heartening indeed to watch our numbers grow and grow, for with so many we can ensure that ardor and affection accompany all the fair creatures of this realm where their journeys take them. Love's Labor. Postmoogle Barding complete. Seasonal event quest complete. Achievement unlocked. Honorificabilitudinitatibus. Complete the quest Love's Labor. I must admit that the change to Pukty's palm took me quite off guard. Does that happen often? Do you think? Does it hurt? How lovely it is that you taught Pukty Piko the meaning of love. I dare say you find yourself exhilarated and eager for more. Better letters. Pukty Piko appears to be beset with troubles. This quest is available for a limited time only. Solana, I knew you would come. You have a marvelous convenient talent for appearing when we're in need, don't you? Anywho, Troublesfoot, where does spread of our previous endeavors, which under normal circumstances would be cause for celebration, but not so today. We've been inundated with letters from across the realm, entreating our aid with all manners of vexations. Our fellows have left me here alone to feel displeased, but I can't see to all this by myself. Please, won't you assist me in bringing succor to the hearts of the weary? I made a tight little list, those who have written to us. No need to see to their troubles in any particular order, mind you. Just try not to let a request slip through the cracks, yes? Seasonal event quest accepted. Whose dilemma will you see to? The emissary of pen passions? The nameless adventurer? The winsome Padjal? The one who dreams of the wider world? On second thought, perhaps not. The one who dreams of the wider world. Elin, good evening, Solana. It's lovely to see you again after all this time. I want you to know that I've been keeping to your advice and am training day in and day out. I'm hopeful that soon I'll be able to take to the open road. But as for why I'm here today, well, I want to write a letter to Kupka to thank him for his support. Whenever I feel low, like I want to give up on my dream of seeing the world, Kupka is here for me to lift my spirits. A message for Kupka. So Solana, how do you think you should start it? What will you say? Thank him for all his encouragement. Urge him to take time for himself during this busy season. Thank him for all his encouragement. And how should she finish the letter? Support him in his endeavors as he supports you in yours. Remind him not to overwork himself. I'm taking your words to heart. I only hope this letter is enough to show Kupka how much he means to me. I'll make sure it reaches the right hands, or paws rather. If only you could have seen the look on Kupka's face when I told him who had written him. He couldn't stop twirling through there. It was adorable. But don't tell him I said that. He was so touched he managed to find time between his many deliveries to craft a reply, which I have here. He really was happy to receive my letter, wasn't he? He tells me he can feel my gratitude and love for him in every word I wrote. As wonderful as it is to talk with him in person, correspondence like this can be rather fun too. I'm more motivated than ever to continue my training now. Thank you so much for the advice on my letter, Solana, and thank you, Pukty Piko, for delivering it to Kupka. Your assistance has proven positively indispensable, Solana. If you have the time and inclination, do come by again. There's always more to be done after all. The emissary of pen passions. You would see to what plagues my heart? You are far too goodly, Solana. I confess that Aloyse's joyful union touched me in a way most unexpected. It sparked within me jealousy, of all things, for in her happiness I saw reflected my own desires. Yes, 'tis true I am here to speak of my own beloved, the man with whom I wish to spend all my days and nights, the very gentleman to whom I am betrothed, one Sir Hortifence. The festivities have run us both off our feet, leaving us not a spare moment to while away together as we once did. It vexes me terribly, yet I cannot speak of it to him. I would flush like a schoolgirl and tie my tongue into knots. Instead, I mean to pour my wounds onto parchment. Oh, this explains a great deal. At first I couldn't understand what was upsetting you so, but now it's all clear as crystal to me. Right then, on to this letter. First, what style should she write it in? What will you say? Filled with prolix paragraphs and poems, as is her wont. Keep it simple and straightforward. And how should she word her vexations? Forthrightly, be coy about them. Lisette de Valentione. There, 'tis done. For better or worse, the missive is penned. And all that remains is its delivery, which I will attend to right away. Goodness me, no sooner had Sir Hordefence read your letter than he made a beeline for the nearest door to race to your side. It was all I could do to keep him from stampeding through the streets. A small miracle he had the presence of mind to even hold a pen. It says he has been fretting over the same thing as I had. In which case, why not come to me sooner? Honestly, he also writes that we shall sit down for a proper meal once Valentiones' day has come and gone. So I suppose there's no sense in holding it over his head. Although I ought to. Well, that settles my affairs, I should say. My deepest, most sincere gratitude for your help, Solana. You've conducted yourself with the diligence and sagacity befitting an emissary of affection. Now go forth and bestow your romantic wisdom upon those in need. We of the Adventurers Guild seek to post a letter to our guildmaster, Mother Mio. Though we're yet untrained and unblooded passel of adventurers, it still grieves us tremendously to admit that we sought her aid in a task we bungled not several nights gone. We fear this blunder of ours will lower us in her estimation so abominably that we may never work again. We are determined to set this all to rights, but the question is how? What words will move Mother Mione so that she will not see us as the lumbering dolts who stepped in it? Oh, that is a pickle. Count yourself lucky, though, for you're in the presence of a renowned adventurer, one who most assuredly understands well the problem you face. So, Solana, what advice can you impart to our flustered friends? What will you say? Show contrition and gratitude in equal measure. Tell her that, barring this gaffe, you're sensational adventurers. And what would convince Mother Mio to provide them with more work? That failure is a novice's best learning tool, that you would do anything to make up for your previous mishap. Here, 'tis writ at last. Then I shall see to its safe and expedient delivery. Pardon my tardiness, Mew was kind enough to set out tea for me, and I could hardly refuse such an offer. It warmed my heart to see such munificence, and now that I reflect on it, such hospitality too is one form of love, isn't it? But I digress. What does Miyun write? What a relief it is to read this. He has seen how steadfast a conviction to the guild are. By hook or by crook, we shall not disappoint her. I, for one, am afire with determination. Your advice has rung true indeed. Thank you for your wisdom. We shan't forget it. The winsome Padjal. Raya Osena, fancy seeing you here, and fancy still that you are the one to assist me. My conundrum is that, as ever, my brother and I are concerned for Khane's well-being. We thought to write her, but I know not what to say, and Arun has lifted not a digit to help. I would ask her to be mindful of her health, but does that not sound rather fussy? Even more so when couched in dearest sisters and formal prose. Though I suppose Khane is both formal and fussy herself. What is more, I haven't much practice in the ways of penning properly worded missives. My sister is, as I mentioned, a touch on the fussy side, and holds manners and decorum in high regard. Little doubt that she will read my words with rather critical eye. You speak of Khane Senna, the elder Seedseer? She is revered among our kind. To think I will soon be delivering a letter to her. What an honor! But enough about me. We're here for Raya Osena. Solana, how do you think she should go about this? What will you say? No need to stand on ceremony. Be frank about your concern. Show that you're serious by observing proper letter writing etiquette. Very well, but who should we say this letter is from? Raya Osena may be the one composing it, but it was both her and her brother who meant to ask after her well-being. What are your thoughts? What will we say? It should be from the person who wrote it. It should be from both her and her brother. There, I have finished. Might I entrust it to its delivery to you? Why, of course, and away I go, Kapo! The elder Seedseer is a wonderful woman, as many have said. She saw how nervous I was and put me at my ease immediately. Your sister is lovely indeed. I'm glad to hear it. Let us see how she replies. She applauds me for the maturity I show in writing her and said that as an older sister she could not be more proud. What a curious response. I ask her to watch her health and she commends me on my maturity. Strange as this answer is, it seems our words of worry have gotten through to her thankfully. Though I was initially reluctant, I am glad we wrote her. My heart is light in knowing she is well. Your assistance in these family matters is much appreciated. Your assistance has proven positively indispensable, Solana. If you have the time and inclination, do come by again. There's always more to be done after all. Complete. Good morrow to you, adventurer, and may the flowers of love ever blossom in your heart. If you should desire to learn more of Valentiones Day festivities, please do not hesitate to ask, as I will only be too eager to share with you everything I know. What's with all the hearts? We of the proud Ishgardian House of Valentiones spread ourselves across the ocean this day in the hope that we may give budding sweethearts the courage to take their first steps together. Hearts across this fair realm torment themselves with unspoken ardors, and thus have we crafted events to inspire even the shyest of souls to confess their hidden feelings. What is Valentiones Day? It is a time of celebration, when we honor the life of Countess Arabella de Valentione, High Lady of Ishgard, who struck out against a life of cosseted detachment and risked all in pursuit of a pure and all-consuming love. In the years after the Countess' passing, a tradition became established among the Ishgardian populace. Every year at this time would they strive to emulate her passion and her bravery by plucking up their own courage and bestowing a token of love upon the object of their affections. Who is Lisette de Valentione? Lady Lisette is a direct descendant of Countess Arabella de Valentione, and her very image, both in beauty and in spirit. Whether it is by her tireless exhortations or simply by her captivating presence, there is none who stokes the fires of passion in the Orcian hearts more than she. Men want her and women want to be her, and many the other way around. But how came my words to just such a light as hers? If you wish to learn more of my lady, pray speak with her yourself. She is ever eager to meet new faces, provided they are willing to submit to her command. Who is Astrid? The Lady Astrid belongs to the newest generation of House Valentiones emissaries. As a relative of Lisette de Valentione, the desire to see others' hearts skip a beat runs in her noble blood. If you would aid this diminutive avatar of love in her efforts to saturate the realm in ardor and affection, then you need but make yourself known to her. Who is Kupka? A Moogle who has labored long in the ways of love, but traveling hither and thither, and even yawned to deliver gifts, missives, and packages to the realm, all in the name of ardor and affection, of course. Many of those who make wishes upon his heart-shaped palm as they pray for a love to be requited or for their heart's desire to be realized, he is first and foremost an emissary, however. So, should you require a special delivery to a special someone, it is to him you ought to turn. Have you found inner peace, good adventurer? To love yourself is the first step towards expanding your relationship horizons. Thank you for following me along through this seasonal event in Final Fantasy XIV. I hope you had as much fun as I had, and that I will see you again in future videos. I would also love it if you hit those like and sub buttons, but for now it is indeed time to say bye bye.